I wake up every single day, I am who I say I am. And I get what I get because I live in beast mode. Stop being gazelles. You're not average. You're not even good. You were born to be great.
What's going on, world? Welcome to another edition of the Secret to Success podcast. I'm your host, CJ, joined as always by the Beijing sensation, Mr. Karl Phillips.
What's happening? What's going on?
And the good Dr. Douglas Eric E.T. Thomas.
Yeah, what it do? Mic check one, mic check two.
Have you ever had to beat your kids in public? And if you did, what was the outcome? Did you go to jail? What happened? I apologize, fellas.
I would be in jail right now for the way I did it, but then it wasn't against the rules back then. I think it's against the rules now.
Yo, oh man, I apologize for being late, y'all. We were supposed to start this 30 minutes ago, but Trey had lost his mind. And I was telling y'all a bit before we hit record, the policy is you can take a toy into the truck, but you can't take a toy into school. So every morning he takes a toy into the truck. And then when we get to school, he got to leave it in the truck so he don't lose it. And, you know, I don't want him running around with his own toys. Then he don't want to share. So whatever, that's the policy. Well, today, some kind of way, Avery ended up, shout out to my baby girl, just turned 1 the other day. She ended up with like a little dolphin, just a little small little dolphin. And she was having a great morning. I'm talking about loving on this little dolphin. And so we got to school and Trey was like, Dad, hold up. I was like, what? He was like, Avery's got a toy in her hand. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, no, I'm not really worried about that. And he was like, no, she's got to leave it in the truck. And I was looking at her, and she was loving on this dolphin, and I promise you, if I was to pull that out of her hand, bloody murder. So I made an executive parenting decision, and I was like, yo, she coming in with this dolphin, bruh. I don't know how to tell you, and Trey lost it. He was so mad. He was like, Dad, you never let me take my dolphin, that's not fair. And I just gave him the classic line that, you know, my parents used to give me, life ain't fair. So dry it up, get it over with. So we go into school, and now, of course, he's mad. So we go and drop Avery off first. You know, we had give the teacher her diapers and drop her off, give her kisses and all of that. And I'm looking at Trey, looking like he's still mad. Now, the cafeteria lady every morning say, hi, Trey. And Trey always says, good morning. So we walked past today and she was like, hi, Trey, good morning. And he looked at her and didn't say anything. So I was like, oh, okay. I said, hold on. She, you know, she didn't think nothing of it. She just went about it. I was like, come back here. Say good morning. And he looked at me and was like, no. I was like, 1 second. We whizzed into the classroom. The teachers are like, good morning, Trey. I was like, I took him straight upstairs. Like, oh, he has to use the bathroom? I was like, yes, he does. I went in there and got busy, came out, Trey was like, oh, fairy god, good morning, everyone. Dog, I got him so good, I promise you. He came out, oh, he was on another level. Went back to the
like Mr. Bill, huh?
Oh,
good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Mr.
What
Bill
a
on the
wonderful
food.
morning it is. Oh, we done had no problems, bro. Went back to he gave the cafeteria lady a hug. I'm blessed and highly favored this morning. How are you?
I'm talking about blessed.
I was like, man, why do I got to get you like that in order for you to cooperate? But, you know, sometimes, man, it's just like, yo, I don't want to do it. And they got a little rule against spanking your children up at the school. So I just like, look, we going to the bathroom and I run the water on you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, isn't that crazy? Back in the day. See, that's what my dad always tell me. Back in the day, they used to be allowed to get whoopings. And now you can't even whoop your own child. When the teacher, did you ever get whooped by the teacher, E?
Yeah,
oh, for sure. I did.
Oh, you did too, Karl. That's right. You was in the islands. I never got whooped by no teacher.
The islands, they ain't playing that. No, listen to what I'm telling you. The islands, they're just changing that. Like I'm talking about, anybody could whoop your tail at the school.
Oh, they done got Americanized. Yep, they about to be.
Oh, yeah, they got cable TV.
Oh, they about to be selling drugs. Yeah, they about to be.
They about to have gangs.
Oh, for sure they gonna have gangs. They ain't had no gangs.
I'm not lying. When I was in Bermuda got cable TV, and I went over there like 2-3 years after they got cable TV, and they was talking about gangs. I said the island about 22 miles long, bro. What kind of gang? They got the west side, the east side. I'm like, bro, it ain't big enough, and everybody first cousins. Like, it ain't big enough.
Right.
Yeah, that cable TV, we'll leave that alone, but that TV, bro, it's a beast, man.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to figure out, so Back in the day, E, so if you got out of line, your teacher just call you up to the front?
Oh, bruh, let me tell you something. We had one
At
teacher,
public
a shop
school, huh?
teacher.
Or this was at Catholic school?
Yeah, I was at Detroit Henry Ford. This when I was in high school. Detroit
Wait, you got whooped as a high schooler?
Oh, I was in high school, bro. The shop teacher. My man was and it was a couple of the teachers that would you could do it, but you could tell they were a little, nervous or whatever, because at that time, the Young Boys Incorporated came out, and the big crack epidemic came out. So there's a lot of kids, coming to school, with guns or whatever. But my man was a Vietnam vet. He might have been the last one. We was like juniors. He might have been the last one. But my man wasn't scared of nobody. And
what was the policy, though?
The policy was you act a fool in class. You know what I'm saying? You get that. He touched that ass. You know what I'm saying? And so he had a battle.
I'm saying there had to be some fights going on.
I promise you, it was just mad respect, and it was a part of the culture. I think that's what it is. Because you in an era where it's like, you have to earn my respect. Like this is the era of earn. Back in the day, bro, teacher told you to get up. Yeah. It was what it was. Like you knew you couldn't come back to school. If you wanted, look, I don't care how hardcore you were. Everybody wanted to be in school. That's where the girls were. That's where the basketball, the football was. That's where the lunchtime playing cards. Like, so at some point, you just didn't want to be at home, just chilling from 8 to 3 at the crib. So I
think I'd rather be at home chilling from 8 to 3 than get my ace whooped and then have to stand. I don't know what girl gonna holler at you after you got your butt.
Oh no, it was a part. Some girls
can't get your butt whooped and be like, yo, you trying to go to prom? She like, heck no, I ain't going to prom with you.
Yeah. Some girls got that whipping. It was like Karl said, it was a part of the culture, bro. It wasn't. And so what he would do is he'd be like, he'd look at you and give you a warning, and he'd show you the paddle, and it was a wood paddle with holes in it. And his was called.
It had a name.
His was called Feel Good.
It had a name.
His was called Feel Good. Feel Good, Mr. Feel Good. And so he would be like, come on up here real quick, and you put your hand against the chalkboard. Turn backward, put your hands on the chalkboard, bend out. And then he would just, Hey, let me tell you something. The class clown would do exactly what Trey did. It ain't no difference when you're 3, 4, 5, 6,
Good morning,
16.
everyone.
Good morning. It's Mr. Bill.
Hey,
no questions asked.
And see, like you said, the Caribbean a whole different ballgame. But I promise you, I have witnessed, and this is no exaggeration, I've witnessed the whole class get their butt whooped. I'm serious.
Wait, the whole class?
The whole class.
How old,
My man had us
Karl?
line up outside. Now this was middle school, not high school. This was middle school. We outside, and they had this rule where before you come back in from break, lunch, or whatever, the whole class did make you recite your timetables. So I'm talking about in unison, like 3 1s are 3, 3 2s are 6, 3 3s are 9. And I think one person was clowning, and my man, like he said, you got that look and the warning, like listen to me. And he was a big dude, Mr. Morris. I remember my man's name. He said, let me just give y'all one warning. Like, we're going to start again from the beginning. And if anybody, like the warning was clear, if any one of y'all messed this up like that, like y'all acting a fool, I'm going to whoop all y'all. And I don't remember who it was, but some clown in there just decided to laughing or something. And my man said, all right, number 1. And he lined the whole class up, bruh, and just, and they had a bamboo, like a stick of bamboo that they would whoop you. I'm talking about, you got whooped. The whole class went inside, and I promise you, like y'all said, we sung them timetables in unison like choir boys and girls. I promise you, bro.
Good morning, everyone.
The whole class. It's a whole different system, bro. Whole different system now. I promise you.
Oh man, yo, that's crazy. No, let me tell you something. You try to whoop one of these kids now, you be getting your own whooping. I'm talking about, can you picture one of these teachers?
He said a whipping, shot, bro.
Oh, bro.
That's out of control, bro.
Nah, don't even try it.
It's out of control.
Yeah, no, man. We had a good weekend, man. Of course, we had Avery's party over here. Man, I think my wife and I counted, it was like 65 people over here. And
no, that's that's like a
bruh,
wedding party.
There were 65 people in my house. Yo, it was insane, bro. But we had a great time. Actually, we had, of course, Jalen and Kale came over and had the babies playing all kind of games, running around. They did a great job with that, man. And the adults were all around, man. The music was going, and I think the party was supposed to be from 11 to 2. I think the last people probably left at like 4:30. And it wasn't even a situation where we were like, all right, everybody get out of here. We were just chilling, you know what I mean? So had a great time. How many kids?
Yeah.
Probably about 20 kids, maybe.
Wow.
Yeah, probably about 20 kids. So, all different ages from like, 1 to, maybe 9 or 10, I think might have been the oldest kids. So, man, just had a good time, pizza everywhere. I think we ordered 20 some boxes of pizza. So it was just crazy over here, man. But we had a good time. And the bonus is my wife had me working. And let me tell you this. And one thing, have y'all ever experienced this? Let me tell you. I actually fixed something this weekend before the party. Like our pantry door, like I don't know if y'all pantry door ever gets stuck. Like ours is like impossible to open. So probably about a year and a half ago, I was tugging on it, trying to open it. And I just, of course, Incredible Hulk, the whole handle
Tore it off.
Now, it's one of those where like, the screws on the inside, it's not just like whatever. So it's been sitting there for about a year, just chilling. And I ain't even attempted to put it back on because I know that's not my skill set. So I've been saying I'm gonna call a handyman to put it back on, but I never did. Let me tell you, the day before the party, I was like, you know what? This can't be that hard. So I sat down, man, and I fixed the handle on that door, and I felt like Tim the Two-Man Taylor. I promise y'all, I was so geeked up. So then guess what? Yesterday, and I know I'm going off topic, but yesterday, the garage, was this yesterday or the day before? The garage door, like some kind of way, the actual sliding door that comes down, like broke and came off the hinges, like it snapped like a metal piece. And I was looking at that joint and I was like, man, for sure I'm gonna call my man. I was like, let me give it one go. Went to Home Depot, found a piece that looked similar, changed out the whole thing, garage door flowing like butter. There is no more masculine feeling in the world. I called my wife on FaceTime, like, look at this. Let me show you what I've done. I felt so fulfilled as a man. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if y'all ever had that feeling of like fixing something, but I've never fixed a car. Let me tell you, I never changed oil. For real. If something happened, I'm calling somebody. And I was 2 for 2 this week and I felt really good about it. So anyway, I got the whole house cleaned up, got stuff fixed. Everything is solid. So even though the party was a pain, kinda, the whole house is like completely decluttered. Everything's out of here. And I got some stuff fixed and it boosted my self-esteem at the same time. What did y'all do this weekend? Did you fix anything?
No doubt.
I know y'all been fixing real stuff.
I was gonna say, we got a whole construction firm going on over here. The weekend with the genius idea of the one and only Dr. Thomas, he decided it's Father's Day. It's Father's Day. So what we gonna do on
Father's Day, yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, we're gonna get our manliness in first at 4:00 in the morning, bro. I'm talking. We had I'll be honest with you, it was. I can't even explain it. We had like 15, 20 dudes here on Sunday morning at 4 a.m.
At 4 o'clock.
At 4 a.m. I'm talking about in here, music blasting. Jamie coming with what was the song? Keep Your Head Up. Pac just blasting.
He played Pac for the movie, Pac birthday.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
I'm talking about we in here just getting it, bro. You would think it was like, I'm talking about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Like I'm talking about dudes in there just chilling, just talking, having fun, man. It was we got I was teasing Jamie last night. Yeah, I texted him, I was like, yo, we got a construction crew now, bro. Like we could go anywhere now. Like, sorry, let me say this, at least a demo crew. I don't know if it's construction yet, but we could tear it up. We could tear it up. So man, we just put a whole bunch of work in. And then I got back home, we did breakfast. My mom, my wife were there. They kind of made breakfast for me and my dad. And then we got to talk about this one on another episode. I took my kids to see Cars 3 for the first time in the movies. Like they ain't never been to the theater. So I took them jokers to see the movie for the first time. Interesting experience. Experience. But then just kind of chilled the rest of the day, man. Just hung out with the fam and just relaxed.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah. And E, what about your Father's Day experience besides bulldozing walls?
It was crazy, man. I don't even know how it happened, but my next door neighbor, Mike is probably the man, man's man.
Alpha male of all alpha
male, the man's man.
Shout out to Mike.
Yeah, Mike barbecued. So it was weird. I went over and I left my phone at the crib. So I just went next door. Mike was like, yo, E, I'm cooking. I'm like, Mike, I'm doing the vegan thing with D, so I'm definitely coming through. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, it's nothing. You know what I'm saying? And I don't really, only meat I really eat is chicken from Chipotle, you know, but that's still enough to be, you know, get something in my system. But I've been doing the vegan thing the last 2 or 3 weeks with her. And so I went over there, man. But what's so funny, I could only eat half a piece of chicken. It was crazy. I guess because I've been doing the vegan thing, I guess your stomach shrinks a little bit when you're eating that kind of stuff. But I went over, man. I sat there for 3 hours. 3 hours, bruh. Went back to the crib. Of course, Didi was like, you left your phone? I didn't know where you were. I'm like, what do you mean you don't know where I was? And second of all, it was Father's Day. Do you need to know where I am? It's Father's Day. You know what I'm saying? Like, This could be, isn't this a day I could be missing? You know what I'm saying? Like, isn't it the day I could do what I want to do when I want to do it?
Father's Day is the lowest holiday on the totem pole.
On the totem pole.
It
might not even be official.
You got sweetest day, you know what I'm saying? You got a Valentine's Day, sweetest day. You got all Mother's Day, you got all these, and then you got Father's Day right above some foolishness they made up.
I think Sweetie's Day, though, is a Michigan thing, and it doesn't really get a lot of pub because I heard Sweetie's Day was supposed to be like the man's Valentine, so go figure. But no, great day, man. Mike them threw down, man. We had, man, some great food, great fellowship. Erica's mom and dad, like for real, we could talk all day long. Her mom reminds me of your mom. Like once you sit down and start talking, it's a wrap, bro. Like don't think you're gonna be doing no 15, 20-minute little conversation, bro. Like you're gonna be in for the long haul. And you know I can talk. So we sat there, man. Then I went
let
home.
me tell you something. Helene to get you caught up and you will never move.
Oh, no, it's the same thing. About the good 3. Yeah, good 3, 4. So I went home.
And Vanessa will definitely catch you.
My mom
here's what I like about. Here's what I like about.
Mom will take the cake.
Here's what I like about. Yeah, no, she whether you want to hear it or not. My mom might try to catch a little angle where you like chilling by yourself and then catch you. E-Ma don't care what you got going on. You could be in the middle of like just typing a paper, studying for a bar exam. She like, look, I don't care. But the one thing I love about both our moms, and even though they talk a lot, is when you end it and you make a hard break, they not offended. You know what I'm saying?
That's
you could just be like, like my mom could be going. I'm like, on the phone, we might be on for 30 and she just going. I'm like, Ma, I gotta go. She'd be like, okay, bye. Like no hard feelings. Like she understands that she's worn out her welcome and she's grateful for the time she had. So shout out to Ma Dukes. Love you, Ma. But no, that's dope. You had a chance to spend some time with the neighbors on Father's Day, man. Question. But real quick, man, special shout out to my man Huddy Hatch. Getting it done yesterday. Oh, man, Josh's son.
Palmer.
Oh, man, Josh's son.
Jack Nicholson.
Rory, the next Rory, just murdered it out there. Won the state championship. I guess North Carolina and South Carolina combined their state championships. And Huddy, actually, the first day was down 3 shots. And, you know, he just missed a couple shots here and there, and he was, you know, I think 3 over or something like that. And the next day, the second day, my man roared back and took it into sudden death. They went into 4 sudden death overtimes, and Huddy got it done, man, and beat, you know, the other guy and won first place in the state. So, man, shout out to him. I know Josh was texting me the whole time. I was super nervous. I know Josh was nervous. You know, you try to keep your kids calm. I talked to him afterwards, and Josh was like, let's just say the caddy was more nervous than the player. I was like, absolutely.
No question.
Yeah, fun.
Yeah, he got it done, man. So shout out to Hudson, man. Proud of you, kid. Just man, what a kid, what an athlete. Both his kids bear as well. Just solid kids, man. So shout out to you guys for that. Yeah. Real quick, man. So over the weekend, you know, we obviously do this podcast every week. So, you know, I'm always looking for stuff that we can talk about, stuff that we can analyze and, you know, kind of, you know, take back through our lens. And of course, the book is helping me do some of that and, you know, our conversations and things of that nature. But somebody asked me this week, like, okay, I'm listening to the podcast and shout out to everybody who, I'm getting a little celeb status out here. I was walking in the mall the other day and the dude was like, yo, It's you, CJ, from the podcast. Shout out to my man who was at Cumberland Mall. I didn't get your name because it was a quick exchange, but he was with his girl. Shout out to my man. So we getting a little pub out here, Karl. We might, you know what I'm saying, give us 20, 15, 20 years. We may be a household name.
You don't need that long. You don't need that long.
Yeah,
It wasn't a goal, so it's going to take you a little longer to do it because it wasn't a goal.
I'm talking about, no, it's crazy though. I text you, you ain't answering me back. I text you, I said household name. Avery's doctor was asking me, we had to take her for her 1-year-old shots or whatever. And her doctor was like, oh, well, what do you do for a living? And I was like, you know, I don't never just dive right in. So I start with consulting, and then they probe a little further. What kind of consultant? I tell them what kind of consultant. Oh, and then what's the name of the company? So finally I was like, Eric Thomas and Associates. My man looked at me and was like, E.T.? No way.
Wow.
I'm like, wow, my child's doctor. You know, it was just weird. You know what I mean? It's just like, wow, the brand.
Did you get a discount?
Charged me more because he thought he was like, oh, he balling. So you definitely can afford it. But anyway, so back to the topic at hand. Somebody was like, yo, I'm listening to the podcast. I'm loving what you guys are talking about, loving the information. I'm applying the principles. But like, what do I do in the interim? Like, I haven't blown up yet. I'm working this 9 to 5 and I'm working on my entrepreneurship, but it hasn't really come to fruition yet. Like, what did you guys do while you were waiting for the blow up? And I was like, wow, that's a pretty decent question. So I know I have my own thoughts, but I wanted to kind of propose it to you guys and see, Ian, take us back, I guess, to even before you met Karl and I, and then I guess we can jump in along the way. But when you think about it, that is true, because you don't have a lot of emails coming in. You don't have a lot of calls coming in. You don't have, you know, a lot of business and a lot of travel initially. So like, what do you do in this meantime after you got your website and your marketing plan down and all these things? What were we doing while we were waiting for that moment or whatever moment that was to blow up, if you will?
So for me, let me just be honest with you guys, and for those of you who are listening, as CJ always says, you know, don't try this at home. What we want you to hear is the principle and not necessarily, you know, the actual steps that we took. But I actually came out of speaking C to get to the next level. I actually realized that, you know, while I was good at what I was doing, it kind of reminds me of you know, somebody like a LeBron who spends a summer with Akeem, the Dream, Olajuwon, you know what I'm saying? Where it's kind of like you're taking a step back from how you normally do things, you know, and I don't want to use the word humbling yourself, like, but just realizing that you need to do something different. Because like, if you keep doing what you've always done, even in a good sense, you'll get what you've always gotten. So I kind of walked away from speaking, one, and I came to Michigan State University, once, you know, two, to get a degree, but more importantly, to serve individuals who have been in the industry of bringing in speakers. So when I got to town, you know, Rodney Patterson and Murray Edwards, like they ran a department in the student services here at Michigan State University. And so they were bringing in speakers. They were going to sessions. They were like traveling the world, you know, going to these different conferences, et cetera. And so I knew, like, okay, these dudes know, they know what a good speaker is. Like, they know what it takes, you know, to get to that next level. And like I said, they brought in some of the best of the best. So when I got to campus, instead of speaking C, I sat down and said to myself, like, how can I be of service to these gentlemen? Like, what can I do? Because they brought me to the university. You know, they paid me to get a degree. And so I was also getting paid, you know, through the student service process that I was doing with them, you know, which, you know, of course, some people call fellowship. So I was making money and I was also getting my schooling paid for. So I was like, okay, what can I do to help them get to that next level? And what can I do to learn so that when I get back in the game, you know, I can add this to my repertoire, because I was already a good speaker. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna work on program development for them, because they're working with a group of students who are transitioning from high school to college and first generation. So I sat down and was like, yo, what, like, okay, there are 20 things that they need, but what's the one thing that they probably can't do for themselves? Like, what's the one thing I could do to really, you know, really benefit them? And so I was like, yo, the Advantage program. And I did my homework. They were only graduating 7% of their African-American and Latino males, and only 50% of Black females and Latino females. So I was like, that's it. So I realized that 7 students represented 1%. So I was like, yo, if I change 35, if I get 35 students to graduate, if I can get 70 to graduate, that's 5%, 10%. And we both know, Karl, that 5 to 10% is significant.
That's huge.
You know what I'm saying? That's significant. So I was like, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do the Advantage program, and I'm going to take the students that, that traditionally struggle and create a program on Tuesdays where we motivate them, encourage them. And then on Wednesdays, I don't know if y'all remember.
The zone.
The zone, baby.
Yeah.
The zone. So Tuesday was the Advantage where you get hype. But Wednesday was a zone where we came together and spent 3 hours in the evening bringing in the top tutors and working with these kids or whatever. So, man, we took a heavy load off Murray and Rodney. So I'm in meetings with these guys. I'm in meetings with, like, the provost. You know, I'm in meetings, man, with some of the top minds at the university. And I'm with folks who are, like, phenomenal in stats, like Ira. I'm learning statistics, and I just learned so much working with them. And then see it just so happen, work while you wait, while I did this for them, or I thought I was doing this for them, created the Advantage. And one of the greatest videos, I was going to say of our career, but I'm going to take it a step further. Maybe one of the top videos on the internet in the world, bro. Like, I'm going to say, like, that's probably going to be a classic that goes down with some of the other classics, classic presentations in the world. So again, I just want to say to you guys why I waited. I found someone who I could serve, and I took an air and said, okay, E, you're a good basketball player already, a good football player already, or whatever you guys are. What can you add to that? Can I add free throws to that? Can I add defense to that? Can I add my left hand to that as a football player, coverage? Can I add speed or the way I run my routes? So I knew I was a good presenter, see, but when I added the program element to it, and then I added the, what we were doing with the students in terms of the acting, the training them, mentoring them, I really feel like, see, that took my speaking game to another level. So while people might have thought, yo, E, you left for 2 or 3 years, see, when I came back to the industry, I came back, man, with a vengeance. And I went from middle schools to high schools to doing D1 basketball, D2 basketball, D2 football. So I left and got my stuff together, studied, helped somebody else, and then came back, man, on a whole nother level.
Well, how did that help your speaking, though?
Because I felt like, what's the word I'm looking for? My range was greater. Like when I came back, I wasn't just telling my own personal stories. I knew how to use data. I knew how to use, like I was a lot more linear in my presentations. My vocabulary to some extent had gone up. I had some real lived experiences, like on the college campus, where I was able to, take the data from our students and utilize that in my presentations, which allowed us to go from college to college. So I just felt like, it just took my game to another level. And I was more than just a good storyteller or just more than just being passionate, but I was able to add some other elements to it. And I think my credibility went to another level. When I got the master's degree, I ran a successful program, had a video that went viral. I think a lot of people in the industry took me a lot more serious. I was at Michigan State making an impact, Big Ten making an impact. So I think my credibility and for real, just overall, I just felt like I added a lot of components, to my speaking game.
100%. Karl, can you think of any examples of when we kind of started doing our thing and I guess if you look at where we were, like we had this vision and this goal of where we were going to be and what we were going to do. I just remember working a whole lot. Like I don't even remember what we were working on. Like, to this day, like that's the thing that even as we're, you guys know we're writing this book, it's like trying to think of like every single day. Cause we were working, I'm talking about 12 hours a day, 13.
Full day.
And it's like, we didn't have any calls coming in. We had so what were we doing in that time period, Karl?
So the key word I would use is, so definitely what C is saying, working, but the key word I would use is learning. Because the reality is, while we weren't necessarily doing, we did have a vision, and while we weren't necessarily being able to, jump right out to speaking to corporate and doing all that, what we did do was create an environment where we could still do the exact activity. And again, like he's saying, y'all, I don't remember, like literally, we show up there at 8 o'clock in the morning. Tuesdays and Wednesdays, we didn't leave till 9:30 at night. So, and that had nothing to do with the job itself. The job could have been over at 3 o'clock because students wouldn't come in after a certain time. But what we did was we created the environment where we could do the same thing that we're doing now. Like literally, E would come and speak to the students, CJ would be meeting with the students. And it's funny, see, in terms of consulting, the consulting you're doing, that's the exact same things you were doing then. Yeah. I had the media team, Dwayne and them trying to shoot some stuff and get little commercials and all that. So we were doing when I tell you the exact same things that we're doing now, and I never even thought about this, but it's the exact same things. I'm going into the department trying to figure out how to get the cameras. They don't want to let us use it because I wasn't a student. I wasn't in media arts at that time, so I'm trying to find other students to get it. We're trying to find workarounds. Okay, we don't have a microphone, we'll do this. See, you met with the teams. Like how often did you meet with like that? There were different teams, y'all. So again, now it's coming clear. See, this is what we were doing. You was meeting with the what was the male thing called?
Street
the male
team.
initiative we
The
did.
street
The street team.
team.
We had the street team that you was meeting with. Candace was meeting with the dream team. You had the 1825 crew, the skit, organizing the skits and doing that with them. You see what I'm saying? So you were literally orchestrating and trying to develop a brand with that. You developed a brand called 1825. And for those of you that don't know, literally it was a entry-level math class at Michigan State University that, the majority of our students had struggled with, it's like serious struggles. So we kind of just used that as a common theme to, that everybody could relate to. And that was the name of the skit. And I'm saying a skit, but it was a brand that CJ created. I created commercials. I had the group doing little, small ads and stuff. Then we'd have the teams, Tim City and them going around campus, even with Chris before, doing the word on the street. So I was just trying to build little media things that we would do weekly, TGIM. This was before TGIM, wasn't it? Am I right? Was it before TGIM?
Oh, for sure.
Or was it the same time?
No, it was around the same
before,
time.
right?
It was around the same time.
Might have been around the same time. But
basically,
so
we were running a bootleg operation of what we actually run now. Ain't that crazy? As you're talking, and man, shoot. I'm gonna have to stop this podcast now because we're gonna give away the book, and I want y'all to buy the book and read the book because there's so many stories and intimate detail. But you're absolutely right. We were literally doing a smaller, unrefined version of what we're doing now.
Exactly
like even when we were running the Advantage program, like we took the program and it was like a classroom style, and we turned it into a show. Like it was a show, not much different than the Stay Ready conference. You know what I'm saying? Like
that's what I'm saying.
We got a host, intro, we got video, we got audio, we got lights. You know what I'm saying? And we turned it into a show.
10 years ago, y'all.
Yeah, no, this is you're 100% right. We were working on that.
I'm interested though, Karl. I want to ask Karl. Karl, from your standpoint, I know you were on the phone talking to people who. To try to get the website going when we did our first website, when we were trying to get, bank statements.
Shout out to Courtney. Shout out to Courtney.
Courtney was the one.
I don't even, I haven't talked to Courtney.
Courtney, what, San Diego?
Yeah, San Diego. I haven't talked to him. I ain't heard from him in
Well,
years.
He got married, bro. Courtney got married. So,
yeah,
he was keeping in touch with us until he got married. But I'm just interested, Karl, because that wasn't something that you were degreed in. For the geeks that are out there, talk to us about, like you said, I was speaking, doing my thing, something that I'd already been doing. C was mentoring, something that he had already been doing. But you probably were the one who was asked to.
One doing nothing along those lines.
I'm just saying, Karl was
dissecting
and we
frogs.
asked him to be wide receiver.
Karl was dissecting frogs, and we brought him off the petri dish and got him into the fold.
Yeah, walk us through that, Karl.
So I looked across the draft picks, y'all, for the team that we had, and I realized that if anybody was going to play this role, it definitely was not going to be E.T.
Absolutely.
He couldn't keep up with a computer.
You know what I'm saying?
He couldn't spell his name properly, trying to fill out a form. Like, it definitely was not going to be E.T. C had the patience for it. Y'all heard C talk about trying to fix the cabinet, doggone it, fix the door, fix the garage. He had the patience for it. So I just knew, for real, if it was going to happen, it was going to fall on me. I kind of picked that up early in the game. Like, these are not the dudes that's going to do anything technical.
Catch that, y'all. For those of you listening, catch it.
The most technical thing I remember C doing was the Zoom. Remember that? C was killing us with the
The
Zoom.
first
Like,
Apple Music.
The Zoom gonna murder.
Oh,
all
yeah,
this. And I was
yeah,
like,
for sure.
You remember that? That's the most technical. C was downloading the music. That's the most technical I saw. C. But I'm just being real. I just knew early on, like, yo, they're not gonna do that. And I don't know if y'all following us. I said it on a podcast before. The one thing I learned about myself is that I have the ability to learn things quickly. I'm not scared of a new challenge. Like, I can learn it. I'll be honest. The first step going into it is like, but I know that I have the ability to pick things up and learn them quickly. So just looking around, I'm like, okay, so we definitely need a website. We definitely need this. We need that. And I'll be honest, E, because we were moving, some of the stuff started coming to us. We always talk about that kind of stuff. So Courtney was a dude that reached out to us that was like, man, I see what y'all doing, and I promise.
Yeah, he just
y'all
randomly was like, yo, the video changed my life.
Yeah.
I do websites, and at the time we needed a website bad. My man was like, yo, I'll just do a website for
I'll
free.
do it for free. So he just got on the phone, and literally he and I just started talking, and he was like, yo, I'm gonna need photos. And like,
What was the
he
name
said,
of the
I know
website
nothing
then?
about that. Huh?
What was the name of the site?
Oh, I think we. Was it
Break the Cycle? It was Break
had
the
to be
Cycle.
Break the Cycle.
It had to be Break
Was
the
it?
Cycle.
It had to be Break the
It had
Cycle.
to be.
Yeah, it had to be.
Yeah, it had to be.
Yeah.
We were still heavy on that.
I feel bad. We should have done a better job of journaling.
Yeah, chronicling all that.
No. No, here's the thing. We got it somewhere. That's for sure.
Yeah,
I can go
you'll
back
find
through my emails. I'm sure I got a thread with Courtney, and
that's
that's
real.
what's dope.
Was that AOL? Your AOL mail?
No, I have been had a Gmail. He's the only one had that blessed at AOL.com.
At the AOL job.
And wrote
You
that
got
AOL.
mail.
You
I just
and
like hearing
Josh.
that,
I
see?
think Josh
You
still got
got
an
mail.
AOL address. I think Josh still got AOL. I'm like, Josh, help me out, bro.
But what was I saying? So yeah, so just hooking up with Courtney, I was like, yo, and I learned throughout the process. That's one of the key word is just learning throughout the process. So Courtney was like, yo, I'm gonna need photos, I'm gonna need this, any videos you're doing, I'm gonna need this, send this to me. And I would just watch him in the process, like, yo, how'd you do that? Why'd you do that? And we'd kind of talk it out. And the good thing with Courtney is like he understood us because like I said, he was watching the videos. He kind of knew and we spent time together. So he was able to put a site together that represented what we were doing at the time. You know what I'm saying? So all our logos, everything, and it wasn't deep. It wasn't nothing, super deep, but it was just a starting point for us. And I mean, it just evolved, man. The same concept of what we're saying from that website as we progressed. And I promise y'all, like I look at our stuff now and I was like, wow, we've come a long way, but we had not even cracked the surface yet. Like there's so many things we have going on that don't even come close to our website. You know what I'm saying? Like there's so many things, but not to get too far ahead. But literally, it was that process of, okay, so we got a site now. What do? Let's get an app. And we got a couple, again, as you start growing, as you're working and doing stuff, I'm telling y'all, people will notice and they will come to you. I promise. So for us, we just had people reaching out. I forgot her name, but this young lady reached out from Chicago. She was like, hey, I do apps. I love what he's doing. I'd like to help y'all with an app. So I'm like, oh, wow, never thought about it, but it would probably be dope for the brand to just have an app. Like, you know what I'm saying? We were 6-7 years ago. Like, that's early in the app game. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't what it is now where, everybody got an app. Like, college kids, high school kids doing apps. So I sat with her in the same process. Like, okay, here's how we do it. What do we do? And I'm like, oh, how do you even do this? Like, how do you submit it? I don't know nothing, y'all. I'm being real. I don't know how you get it to iTunes. I just know an app is something that show up on your phone and it works. But being able to go through the process with them and just kind of understand. And that's the one thing I like to work with people that not necessarily, let me put it this way. Then I wanted to learn the process. Now, not so much. Now I want to understand how it works, but I'll let you as the expert do what you do. Then I needed to understand what was going because we were growing and I needed to know, like, as we move forward, what works, what doesn't work. Who is this person? Can I trust this person? Like, there's a lot that goes into this kind of stuff. Like, you got to give, let me just tell y'all this. This is one thing that I'm still not used to. You just got to give random strangers passwords to stuff that, is sensitive information. Like, that's just a part of the world now. You have to give them passwords to your stuff. And I'm just like, I got to give you that? Like, how does this work? But again, going through the process
Everything but the bank account.
Oh, man, everything but the bank account. We get to, and so like we're saying, it gets to the point now where it's preparing you all along for the stuff that's happening. So now I'm signing up for merchant accounts so we could process credit cards. Y'all, I have no idea about half this. Today, as I'm looking, my computer's in front of me, I'm doing a PCI compliance test to make sure all our internet stuff is, I promise y'all, I am not that dude. I do not understand the half of this. But what I was able to learn throughout the process has given me enough information to get what I need to do done. done, and it connected me with the right people. But the process, man, is just teaching you the whole time. If you're willing to learn, I'm telling you, there are people out there that will come to you, and you just got to learn. You just got to pay attention to what they're doing, ask the right questions, and let me not leave this out, develop relationships. With Courtney, we had a strong, it wasn't just like, I'm going to do the website for you and I'm done. No, we had a relationship. Like, I could hit Courtney up. Now, I remember actually like a couple of years ago, I hit Courtney up and I was like, yo, we going to be in San Diego. We had a relationship. The young lady in Chicago, we had a relationship. You know what I'm saying? All these people that we work with, we created like relationships. So we learned throughout this process. And y'all just going to keep hearing me say the word learn. We were doing stuff the whole time, and we just kept learning as we were going. And I just promise y'all, like, it just developed. Like, you can't be around it that much and not develop. You know what I'm saying? So now, as we go into new websites and new apps and new stuff, like now I'm way more advanced. And again, I'm still not the dude that I can just go in there and boss an app out. Like, that ain't me. But I've been around it enough to understand some of the things that work, some of the things that don't work. And I'm just going to work with you. If you the expert in the area, I know the brand, I know our brand, you know your field, we can make whatever happen. You know what I'm saying? With those two elements. But yeah, man, it's just a process of just going through it. And Ian CJ was not going to be interested in any, still not interested. I can call either one of y'all right now and say, hey, so the test that I'm doing now, the little PCI compliance test, is just checking to see. I think both of y'all probably hang up in about 30 seconds. I promise y'all. They wouldn't even talk to me.
Easy.
I promise y'all.
Easy.
So I had to develop that, y'all, just as something that we had to get done. The brand couldn't exist without this kind of stuff. We can take a credit card payment on the internet, you know what I'm saying?
Right,
so it just had to be done. So,
do y'all understand, like, you just said something deep. I remember, I think we were at Central Michigan basketball.
Central.
That was like the first day the PayPal or whatever we had got hooked up. And E-Phone was, we had just put the book up for pre-order or something. And he kept, he might still have it on there, but he had an alert every single time somebody purchased a book or a shirt or whatever. He had his phone would not vibrate, not silent.
No.
It would ding. And I promise you, we put them, and he would just be riding down the street like, ding, ding, ding. Ding, ding, ding,
I started
ding.
making a speech out of it.
He started using it in the speeches.
I said, okay, I'm about to preach. I'm going to tell me how many times you hit his ding in the middle of this presentation.
Execution is worship, man.
Great days, y'all.
Yeah,
great days,
and I'll
great
speak
days.
to what I was doing because, you know, obviously the three of us, and you just heard what E was doing, you heard what Karl was doing. And I think the most important thing for me, once we got kind of everything in place and, you know, organized, was I wanted to find the gaps. And so for me, although Karl didn't really want to study the industry and E had no interest in studying what else was going on in the industry, I studied very closely what was going on in the industry, in the world of motivational speaking, in the world of consulting and those things. And I wanted to know, how could we make our imprint in terms of building a brand, in terms of coming up with a logo, in terms of making ourselves into a legitimate company. And so I was looking at the Tony Robbins of the world and the Robert Kiyosakis and trying to find out what they were doing on a regular basis. What did their live events look like? What did their, you know, internet presence look like? What did their branding look like? Did they have, you know, certain things? And I found gaps in the industry that allowed us to kind of plow through. And one of the gaps specifically that, you know, if anybody's been to a live event has heard me talk about in the VIP, was I looked in all the videos that were like free were all like short little clips, and they'd give you a little bit of information and then they'd say, you got to come to the website and buy this, and it'd take forever. And back then there wasn't any digital downloads and things like that. You would have to wait for like a box set DVD to come to your house. But I said, hey, all right, cool. These guys are giving out motivation in small little doses. E is like a machine in terms of the content he's putting out. Why don't we just put this out to the world for free? And we start flooding the internet with all kind of videos. If you go back and watch those first seasons of TGIM, there are TGIMs in there that are 20-some minutes long. This is not just a, you know, here's a sampler, you know, at the mall where they give you a little taste and then you got to pay for the, you know, number one. We just gave you the number one, like off the rip. And then we said, if you want to buy the franchise, then you can come, you know, pay for something. But we gave you literally an entire meal. And that was one of the gaps that I noticed. So I think as entrepreneurs or business owners or wherever you are in your life, you know, you heard what Karl did, you heard what E did. What I did is I studied the gaps, and too many people as entrepreneurs are going and you're doing the same thing and you're offering the same product in the same exact fashion, in the same exact way that somebody who's already way ahead of you is doing. So there's no need for your product. You have to create a need, and by finding that gap, and I think that was one of the things that when we weren't actually on the road or doing all these things, that was one of the main things that I was studying. When Karl and E, well, I remember when we first started getting gigs, we could only ask for 2 coach plane tickets. And so we would get 2 coach plane tickets, and we would send Karl for the footage, and E obviously was going to speak, and I would stay back and I would just study the gaps and find out what we were missing and what we were doing. And I'd listen to audio from E, you know, speaking at a school that they were at from the day before. They'd send it back to me, and I'd try to find a clip to put together to put on the internet. And so there are constantly things that you need to be working on as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, or whatever, that you can find to take yourself to that next level. But absolutely, after you put that plan together, there's still much to be done, but you just have to find you know, what that is and find that lane and go for it. So,
hey, so you said something that I want to kind of hit real quick. So CJ said, I mean, like studying the gaps. And what's huge about that for me, see, is that, so how humans work is everything is like, we look at everything in terms of relativity. Like, this is bigger than that. Like, that's how human nature is. Like, I can't explain it, but that's just how human nature is. We always want to use that C word. We always want to compare stuff. We always just want to compare. So, like, it's just in our nature. LeBron, Mike, sorry, y'all, I got to use that. We got to go there. But the deep thing about what C just said is he looked for the gaps. And what the gaps allowed us to do was pull ourselves out of any category that you could put us into. Who are you comparing us to when we're doing a weekly video? We had nobody that you could compare us to. E by himself is a very, very unique individual. So that in itself, you know, gives us like, okay, you can't really compare E to a whole lot of people. You could try, he speaks, so you put him in a speaking category, but you don't have anybody you could compare E to like that. But when C said he studied the gaps and there were things that we were able to do, like honestly, that put us in a class all by ourselves, and you didn't have people that you could compare us to, like for real in terms of what we were doing. There was no competition for that. So you removed that whole concept of relativity from people's minds, because you can look at us and you had to accept us for who we were and what we were doing. You couldn't say, oh yeah, they did that last week, or this other company's been doing that for the last 2 years. We're not energized and do or so. Like, so you remove that whole concept of being able to compare it to anything else. And that, again, guys, when y'all hear the different pieces fit together, that part of the brand, like, we wouldn't be where we are without that, if that makes sense.
No,
we would not be where we are now, because like literally, I want y'all to understand, everything we do is everything we look at, we compare. Your house is big. Well, what is it big in comparison to? Well, I seen some smaller house. Like, everything we do is based on comparisons. So if you remove that, like, we were able to grow and grow. Of course, now people compare us with the industry standard, but we were able to grow for a long time, and you couldn't put us in that hole because C removed that by studying the brands and see what was going on. So no, when you said that, see, I just thought about that.
Yeah, and I want to add something too. So, Karl talked about us having a lab. And I think, Karl, that's probably the biggest challenge that I see with most speakers, and I know I harp on this, you know, but you and I'm not going with Facebook Live, see. You know, but most of the people that I know that are in the, you know, in the process of trying to be, you know, in the industry, unfortunately only speak when they speak. You know, and Karl said we had a lab, you know, a laboratory. And, you know, so being a science major, I think this is where this came in, you know, for Karl and for us. It was like, hey, guys, let's stay in the lab as much as we can, because it gave us the opportunity to dissect. You know, we had an opportunity to dissect our weaknesses, our undeveloped strengths. We had an opportunity to dissect the industry, dissect what we were good at. You know, and so we were in the lab, and I think that's what a lot of people are doing wrong, see. It's like they speak. It's almost like, and I don't know if I mentioned this or not on the podcast, so forgive me if I did, but I've often said that one of the challenges that first generation students have when they come to a college like Michigan State is that they've never seen this type of academic rigor before. They've never maybe met a teacher whose first language is not English. They've never probably dealt with the speed that you deal with, you know, on this particular level. And where most professors go wrong is that from one paper to the next, Karl, you don't always get your paper edited quick enough to make the adjustments. You know what I'm saying? Like, you might do a paper, and I tell people, if you got a 65 on one paper and then you were asked to do another paper, well, chances are, Karl, you're gonna get another 60 to 70. Like, that's the range for you. But if you were to get your paper edited immediately afterwards and your teacher was able to go over, like kind of where you made your mistakes, then you could make the adjustment. And I think what happens when you speak, only when you speak, you're not being edited. You don't have the time really to make the type of adjustment, CJ, that you need to be able to dominate in this industry. So for us speaking every week at The Advantage, for us having a group of kids that acted, for Karl, the sound system and recording and editing, like we have put, and that's why we still do it to this day. And I got young people who trying to pass me, and you still don't have a program that you're doing weekly. Like, you don't have your own lab. It's like working out at a gym that you got to wait for somebody to open the door. You can only get there as early as they're there. Versus us, we got our own gym. We can go in that joker 24 hours a day and do whatever we want to do when we want to do it.
Wait,
so
make
Karl,
sure they caught that. To this day, though, y'all.
Yeah.
Y'all looking
no
at
question.
E thinking, oh, he on top of the world. Why do you think he does the Success Series every week and he's still speaking every week at the Success Series to the college kids? You don't think he could bring in speakers every week and have them do it? It is literally him going in the gym and shooting free throws. It's Michael Jordan still, working on his post moves. Like, you have to understand that. And a lot of he just said it, and I'm just doubling down on what you said. You didn't miss anything. I just want to make sure they caught it. Yo, E is still working on that, and you got people who are nowhere near his level, who the only time you speak is when you speak.
Yep.
I hope that makes sense. The only time you speak is when you actually get called for a gig and you actually go to an engagement or whatever it is that you do. And that's not just for speakers. That's across the board. You need to be working on your craft at all times. I think that's the theme of this thing right here. And E just hit on it. And trust me, there was times when I did not understand it. I used to be like, E, we just doggone been on a world tour. We've been in Australia 2 weeks. We came back. We had a gig and engagement. Somebody called E on our way home. Like, can you stop by this football field? When I just want to get to the house, brush my teeth, take a shower and go to bed, and E like, bet, I'm on my way. And we drive 30 minutes out the way and go to some small little football field with kids who's 8 years old, and E out there going hard. And I never understood it back then, but now I understand that's what gives him the competitive advantage. That's what gives him the competitive edge, is that it is a part of his lifestyle and something that he's working on at all times, whether he's at a movie, whether he's, watching TV with his wife, whatever. He's constantly in go mode of how can I get better? How can I improve myself? And how can I become the best in the world? And if you don't think that there are patterns and similarities to people who end up great and at the top level of what they do, you're out of your mind. So hopefully, that helps,
put a check mark here, Karl. Let's talk about this next week, because it is a lie. 10,000 hours. I want to talk about this next week, because 10,000 hours is a lie. Some of y'all just think you're just gonna put in 10,000 hours.
Yeah, don't give it up then. If we're gonna talk about it next week,
all right, next week. Make sure we do that.
Right
10,000. The myth about 10,000 hours next week.
Myth. Yep. All right, got it. I'm putting it. I'm just gonna put it on my phone so we know. You know what I'm saying? We teased the next week's episode. Real quick, you got a fair file for me? You said I haven't heard it yet, but I'm up for it. Fair file.
Look, and I'm being real. Fair file. Like, I'm being real. All right. And Karl, if you could put something up on the website or somewhere, I don't know if it's Instagram, somewhere.
I'll put it as a cover image. You're good. I got you.
I need the women to get involved and vote. I really want to hear what my sisters have to say. Women, vote. Is this fair or is this foul? Right? So, we've been on the road a lot. Didi retired in March. So when you hit Dubai and come back home, it's really tough. I'm just going to be honest. For those of you who got dreams of going to Dubai and all of that, save it. Because your wife going to come back and hate everything in America, right? You know what I'm saying? I took her to a villa the other day in Orlando, 3-bedroom villa. Washer, dryer, full-blown kitchen. Didi walked in that joint and was like, man, it's kind of old. I was dying laughing. Like, no, you just didn't say that. She was like, this sucker's outdated. Yep. But it's the Dubai experience, right?
Wow.
So she been struggling. She's like, I'm ready to move. And I'm like, boo, come on, it don't even make sense. Like, you know what I'm saying? Our kid's gone, whatever. She's like, I like the crib, but I don't like
the surroundings.
But I want you to guess.
Y'all got a Chick-fil-A now, E.
Yeah, right. Like, what else could she want, you know? And why does she go vegan when we get a Chick-fil-A? But anyway, so of course, there's 2 things that she wants. So just try to guess what's one thing she just don't like about the house no more.
Besides the air conditioning always breaking?
Yeah, I'm talking about like if everything was perfect, there's still something that she's like, nope, I'm not happy with that.
The kitchen?
The females would have went right there.
Think females.
Yeah, think females, not the kitchen. Think females.
The bathroom.
Yeah, the bathroom and the closet. She like, I need a brand new bath. I want the marble kind. I want the shower double-headed. I need a bigger closet. So you know me, see, I'm like, all right, well, I'm
We
trying
could just
not
remodel
to move.
this joint.
Yeah, you feel me? I'm like, okay, I'm trying not to move. So this is what I told her. I said, look, this is what we do. All right, we brought somebody in to remodel the bathroom, and they charge quite a bit, about 12 grand. She like, You know, Didi like, see, on the cheap tip. Didi like, no way, I can't spend no 12.
Frugal.
I was like, I said you wanted it. She's like, I can't do it. So I was like, okay, well, this is what we can do. We both have some pretty decent closets. Of course, she got the bigger one, but I got a walk-in closet too. So I told her, I was like, yo, you could just have my closet. And D was like, oh no, I couldn't do that. I was like, all right, bet. I was like, bet, see, like for real. Like I feel this was like what conversation we had as soon as we got back from Dubai. So you're talking about the end of March, the beginning of April, right? So I came back 3 weeks later, see, and was like, D, for real, I ain't playing. Like, I know this means a lot to you, the closet, you got a lot of stuff. You know, I don't wear nothing but t-shirts anyway and shorts. And so she was like, look, this is our home. You know what I'm saying? Like, you work hard. I couldn't do that to you. So I was like, all right, bet, whatever, left it alone. I'm sorry, see. So Father's Day.
Of all days.
I don't know how this happened. I wasn't gonna say nothing. You asked. I wasn't gonna say nothing. Father's Day, after we do breakfast, she gotta go to the mall. Cause it's also Jamie, you know, Jamie and Trina, the cooks, man. They're such a blessing to everything, the church, just everything, man. So it was Lil Jay's birthday as well. So Didi was like, we're gonna go shopping and we're gonna go get Jay some stuff for her birthday and drop it off. I was like, bet, no problem. So I'm like, can you do me a favor though? Is Jada and you, can y'all go to the mall without me? I'm gonna drop y'all off, sit in the parking lot and wait for you.
Hey, same morning that we worked 4 o'clock, see, the same morning.
You know what I'm saying? I worked at 4 to 8. See, I put in work at the church. So I'm like, I'm a little tired. Can I just stay in the car while y'all shop? And she like, no problem, it's Father's Day. But I'm laughing, see, because I'm like, how do we still get to the mall on Father's Day? How do we get to the mall? I didn't understand.
Wow, of all days.
They got to shut the mall down on Father's Day,
right?
But,
please.
But of course she went to get Jay's stuff. So what can I do, bro? I can't say nothing, right? But they was in there for a grip. I'm like, yo, I thought y'all just getting stuff for the baby's birthday. She ain't but 5 or 6 years old. Like, what? Or she just turned 8. I'm like, what in the world? So Didi calls me, like, yo, can you come in? And I'm like, come in for what? And she was like, look, I need you to look at something for me. You need to come in. And I'm like, boo, come on, it's Father's Day. She's like, no, I'm for real. I need you to come in and because I don't want to do this and then you get pissed later. You know what I'm saying? Like I really need your opinion on this one. So I was like, all right, bet. I went in and see. So you know the Lansing Mall is going out of business. And so I walk in and see, they got all kind of beautiful clothes, stuff on sale. So I'm thinking like, oh, okay, she found an outfit for me and just want to make sure, you know, that the outfit is tight, see? You know what I'm saying?
I like how you think.
You know what I'm saying? So I went in like, oh, okay, I'm looking around. They all the way in the back, like in the corner. So I'm looking like, oh, okay. So I'm looking in the store, like looking around, like what kind of store is this? Route 21? I ain't never heard of it. I ain't never really been in it before. So I'm looking like, oh, okay, well, it don't look like it's nothing here for me. And then we go all the way in the back and she like, hey, boo, they got this clothes rack on sale and it'll fit all your clothes. And I'm saying, what? And she like, yeah, remember you told me that the closet, you was gonna give me your side of the closet? I was like, but you told me no. You told me that you did. You know what I'm saying? And bro, I promise you, they had, everything was on sale. So she was saying, he go a rectangle, clothes rack, he go a circular one, which one you want? And I'm like, is that what you called me here for?
Wow.
You should have just picked it. And so I picked the joint, see, that was circular. We brought it to the crib yesterday because I was with the Chiefs. We brought it home yesterday. I put all my clothes on that joint in an hour. Look, she wasn't even at the crib. She came back and was talking to Karl. I was like, Karl, I didn't even know Eric put all this stuff downstairs. See, I was like, yo, you must really want that closet. So, you know what I'm saying? So, fair foul, see? Fair foul,
and see, when I tell you she was geeked, like I'm over there yesterday just talking, like I was walking by and I stopped and talked for 2 minutes, and she was like, hey, I got some new furniture in the basement, because her and Tamisha been looking at couches and stuff like that, like furniture. So I'm like, D, I didn't even know y'all was looking for furniture. Like, y'all don't even go downstairs like that. Like, what you got down there? She's like, no, you got to come see. She excited. She's like, yo, come check it out. I'm like, wow, why y'all go buy a new couch? Because in my mind, I'm like, that's all it could be.
Right.
I go downstairs, bruh, and when I tell you, it's like the industrial joint. Like, I'm talking about, like, it looked like a dry cleaner's down there.
Wow.
I'm talking about all these clothes on this this joint had to be like 6 feet long and round. And all these clothes are downstairs just on this
Didi
joint. And
took
Didi
the
is
cake.
smiling ear to ear, bruh. I am like, wow.
Fair foul, see?
Fair or
That's
foul?
all I'm asking you. Fair foul, see?
She done straight turned the crib into JC Penney's. Wow.
JC Penney, bro. I'm gonna get a pic to Nikki and have her put it up on IG. I'll get it out.
I just want to know what the sisters think. I want to know what you think first, see, but I want to know what the sisters think. Was that fair because I said something in April? Was that fair, or because she told me don't worry about it, but then it snuck and got me a rack? Is that foul?
The manly part of me wants to go foul. I don't want Didi to be mad at me side is gonna go fair. Okay? Because I still got, you know what I'm saying? And I already know Candace is gonna go fair. So can I plead the fifth? Can I plead the fifth on this one? Wow, unbelievable.
Hey,
yo, I didn't know where you was going. I promise you, the whole time I'm trying to figure out, like, where is he going with this? Like, what did she do? She done bought the whole, wow.
Yeah.
Unbelievable,
But I must
bruh.
say this, and Karl can tell you, I must say this. If the sisters say foul, I get it. If they say fair, I get it, because I did say, right, but we never had another discussion about it, right? But I will say this to you, and hindsight is 20/20, and Karl will tell you, I really came up, see, because there was some stuff in my closet because of the way it was constructed I couldn't find. This joint, see.
I'm talking about everything.
This joint, see. I could go around and get it. I mean, everything is right there.
Right,
see?
it's like going
So
shopping in your own house.
In your own house.
She did give me a sweet joint, and it was a lot of stuff. I was like, oh, I could get rid of this. Oh, I could get rid of this. I don't need this. Oh,
Hey.
look, I found 3 shirts I couldn't find in the last 3 months. I found 3 shirts. See?
So I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna say it's fair, and here's why. I'm gonna say it's fair. You get up at 3 o'clock in the doggone morning and you ain't got to be rummaging in her room no more to find nothing.
No more in that
So
closet.
for your lifestyle, it's fair. You know what I'm saying? You could go downstairs now and do what you need to do, and she ain't never got to hear nothing. She ain't got to wake up.
Like, I hear your little rat. She says like a little rat when you up at 3 o'clock in the morning. I just hear you have little feet.
Oh, she be so.
But
The funniest thing is he have his flashlight on his phone, and Didi be killing. She like, all I see is a spotlight in my face with him trying to find keys, phone, all kind of stuff. I'm like, Lord have mercy.
Yeah, so I got my own closet now in the basement, man.
Wow.
Unbelievable, man. Yeah,
you got your own retail rack.
Right there, see. So I got to know from the BU family, you know, from the Game Changers, man, from the ETA family, man, from the followers, man, a mixtape, whatever, man, just the people out there that love me. I want to put it up, man. I just want to hear what people have to say. Is it fair or foul, man? That's all I want to know.
Put
but
it
like
up,
Karl
bro.
said, when you talk about happy, yeah, she was so excited. And I think doubly because she couldn't believe how quick I had put those. She was at Karl's house talking to Misha, and while she was there, man, it didn't take me an hour or 2. I just grabbed all my stuff,
the question is,
shoes, everything.
Did you do it with an attitude? That's the question. Did you do it with an attitude, or did you do it happy?
I was pretty geeked up because when I saw which one it was, I was like, yo, this is really gonna help me because, like I said, see, I can't explain it. You got to see it. But, bruh, I never have to look for nothing. I never have to organize again, bruh. Then it was sweet because what she did was, she got that one. But I can't explain it. But on top of the rack, it's like a shelf almost.
Yeah, a flat shelf.
And so the
joint.
flat shelf. So man, I could put all my jeans,
Wow.
you know, all of like my belts, socks, like the stuff that I have to, you know, readily get to.
Wow.
Yeah, it's right there.
Hey,
no,
so
So y'all ain't
I'm
got to
here.
move now.
See,
we ain't gotta move.
Diddy said, yeah, I'm gonna go up to the mall and I'll see if I can find the hangers with the small, medium, and large stuff on there, and I'm gonna get all that, and just he can have all his stuff organized down here.
Wow. You got evicted.
man.
You got evicted.
Hey, yeah. Next, I'll be talking about she bought me a mattress for the.
Hey, listen,
me a mattress
man.
for the morning.
Listen, man. Right, exactly. I put a little bed down there, a little mini fridge. Good morning. Oh man. Hey, can I read this real quick? I just got an email and I wanted to read
Please.
it. And I want to shout out to BU, man. And this person, I'll just use their first name, but says, "Hi ET, my name is Casey and I'm a BU member. Just wanted to say thank you for being an inspiration to me. I have been rejected 64 times throughout the past 5 years of applying for graduate school, but I recently got accepted and started my doctoral degree program in physical therapy. There were times when I considered giving up, but I continued to watch your videos and applied many principles that you have taught me. You have been an inspiration and a motivation to me in continuing to pursue my dream and vision. I just wanted to say thank you from the bottom of my heart, and I really hope to meet you as well as CJ, Karl, and the ETA family someday. Thank you sincerely, Casey." Wow. Man, yeah. I literally just got that as we were talking. They forwarded it over from the support center. And wow, Casey, shout out to you 64 times and did not give up, got accepted, and is now about to be a doctor. Wow, is that not amazing? Listen, man, if you want to be like Casey, man, you want to go to that next level, join us at Breathe You. Seriously, man, some of you guys are not going to the next level. You listening to the podcast, you consuming little stuff here and there. But you need a network of people who are going to hold you accountable. You need to be, in a group, in a family environment where people help you go to that next level, whether it be in your career, school, marriage, whatever. Listen, that was the point of building this community, and that's why we've continued to build it, and that's why we probably have, I will go on record of saying we probably have the highest retention rate of any personal development program in the country. Because of the services that we offer and because of the network that we've built. When people join, they just don't leave, man. It's a great experience, and Casey just was very timely with that email, and we would love to see you there as well. So go to breatheuniversity.com, check us out there, and hear some of this information and get around these people who are making a difference and making it happen every single day. We got challenges going, people helping each other lose weight, people helping each other stay accountable and writing books, and just a whole bunch of stuff. So look forward to seeing you at breatheuniversity.com. Go check us out. One of the things I love that we do, this is how you know we're real. There is no commitment length. You can join. If you don't like it after a month, you stop. We're not going to keep charging your credit card. We don't have a 6-month buy-in. Look, we only want individuals who want to be in it. So if you guys listen to the podcast, you love what we're doing, times this by 10 when you get in BU and just got the support system around you to help you go to that next level. So with that being said, let's jump into Ask ET. We got a question from South Africa, and this gentleman, shout out to him because he wrote in a bunch of questions and I forgot to answer it from before. So I'm going to answer his question as soon as I can find it. What did I do? I thought I screenshotted it. He's from South Africa. His name's Keenan. Where are you at, Keenan? Let's see. Here we go. Keenan in South Africa said, how often do you guys look into the future about your business plan? So I guess he's asking, how much do we work, for the moment, and how much do we work looking towards the future?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's kind of hard. I mean, I'll be honest, for me, I kind of live in both. Yeah, I kind of live in both. Like, we go forward, that's it, and we just literally, we go years out and just kind of see where we are, where we want to be. But then we come back and we hit now hard, because, we set the direction, but I won't say that we stay over there too long, you know what I'm saying?
Question.
Like we set that direction, like, yo, this is where we going. We sailing the ship from here to Australia. We going there,
Right,
and
right.
Australia is beautiful, but let's come back today, man, and hammer and nail and just make sure. So I'm saying we do both, but I'd say a larger percentage is just capitalizing on where we are now.
Yeah, I spend most of my time in the future, just to be honest. I mean, just in I think in the, kind of position that I'm in, they'll tell you, I'm always like, hey, what about this? What about that? Like everything I do, because we kind of are where we are, and the orders have been set for what's going on now, and everybody's kind of working on that. And so me being, I guess the visionary of the company, I'm constantly looking forward. People always say, like, what wakes you guys up? You guys are having all this success. Like, I get woken up in the cold sweat thinking about what gaps are we missing? Like, is there somebody who's coming from behind to take over? Like, look at a Blockbuster. You talk about getting caught flat-footed. Blockbuster was the #1 name in movies in all the world, and there's not a Blockbuster standing as far as the eye can see now, because Netflix found a gap and came in and just blew the whole spot open, and now you don't even hear Blockbuster. When their name used to be synonymous with movie, people would say, let's make it a Blockbuster night. Now you don't even say Blockbuster, and they're gone because they got caught flat-footed. So when you talk about what wakes you up and what keeps you going, it's that for me. Had Blockbuster been, visionaries, had the people at the top been seeing, hey, wait, we got the internet coming, people are watching YouTube and stuff online, maybe we should think about getting into, the streaming space and all of those things. And Netflix came, man, like a little gnat, and just drove them straight out of business into the ground. And now you got Netflix, which is $1 billion, corporation, and you got Blockbuster, which is out of business. And so for me, it is very, very critical to constantly be looking in the future and figuring out what are the next things coming. That's why the mixtapes and the albums are important. That's why it's important for us to be doing conferences and, doing them in a way that nobody else is doing them, and create and breathe you, just things that are cool that, help people and accomplish our mission of taking people to that next level. So for me, man, I live in the future quite a bit. I'm always trying to see what's around the corner, because I don't want anybody to beat us to the punch. So for me, I would say I spend a lot of time in the future. E, did you want to answer that, or are you good?
Yeah, I'm just saying, you just said it. Like, I think for me and you, my relationship with you, I'm definitely in the future. Like, see, I want to make sure we get into the TV space. I want to make sure we do this. But for me, being the speaker of the company, I'm probably present more than anybody. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, that's my job, to speak here, or to, go to this meeting, to create this relationship, to seize this opportunity. So I think if anybody is the, take advantage of an opportunity of a lifetime, and a lifetime of the opportunity, which is like today, I'm probably stuck in present more than anybody else.
And I'm just laughing, at how everything we said, I'm going right back to what we just talked about before, the advantage. Like, everything we said just aligns to exactly who we are, what we do in the company, and the direction that we've gone and are going. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything, like, I ain't know what you was going to say, I ain't know what you was going to say, but it makes perfect sense. That's the only thing you can say when you're looking for the gaps in the brand. You have to stay in the future. You know what I'm saying? I have to stay in the present a little more, because I'm dealing with the tangible website, the app, the whatever.
Which is less and less every day, by the way. I called Karl the other day. I was like, where? I was like, the Ian Lee. He was like, oh yeah, they gone. They in Detroit shooting, filming for, the document. I'm like, wait, what? I was like, Karl, you not? And Karl was like, nah, they sent the whole team of videographers, picture takers, the whole nine. Our partner flew in from Manhattan and all of this, and Karl was at the crib. I was like, oh, I love it, Karl.
And it was weird, it was weird for me, because I was sitting kind of waiting for Ken to like, yo, you rolling? And Kenny didn't say nothing to me. Yeah. Ken was like, yep, no, we good. I was like, wow. Yep, we created a monster out here.
Yeah.
It's real.
Well, hey, welcome to the future, baby.
I'm transitioning,
welcome to the future. Real quick, somebody, Jackson in St. Louis said, do Karl and E really live next door to each other?
Really?
I'm telling you, I could throw a rock and bust E window out.
Yeah, hey, I live so close. When Jordan's riding his bike and about to get hit by a car, I have to be the one to say, Jordan, come on.
You can rescue.
No questions asked. Yeah,
100%.
Karl called me yesterday, like, yo, E, on the way back, get that whole wheat bread. I was like, I got you. And so close. And my wife was talking to Tamisha yesterday. She had scooped me something to eat, and I was able to just walk right to the car. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have to call her like, where you at? I just looked out the window. It was like, oh, there go Didi over there. So I just walked over there, boom, grabbed my stuff, and came on back to the crib. So yeah, we could throw it literally. If you got a decent arm, you could throw a boulder.
I think
to
it's
that
literally, and it's not like next to in the sense of like literally on the same street, but I'm looking like he can look down the street in front of him, and it's like 2 houses between us. So like the street right in front of E's house, I'm literally.
But it's
2
like a
houses down the
cul-de-sac, so it's like y'all right there at the end of the cul-de-sac. So.
Oh, no question.
Yeah,
Let me say this. I know when he coming and going.
Right. Oh, absolutely.
I was actually the other day, me and Didi was like, wow, Karl and Tamisha, they've been out for like the last 10 hours. And then come to find out, we moved the books out of his garage, so he put his car in there. So we was like, what in the world? So we just figured out. I was like, yo, what's going on? So yeah, we live that close that they have to pass my house to get to their
leave,
house. You know?
To either leave or go, I got to pass E's house every time. Yeah.
And I think that's important too. See, you know, we're going to get into that in the book, you know, but even, you know, while you were gone, again, it was one of those positions that could leave. You know, Karl and I, you know, for the longest had to be right next door to each other, or it was super convenient for us to live next door to each other, because when I come up with an idea, or he has an idea about to shoot something, it's like, yo, Karl, I'm feeling it. Like, yep, give me 5 minutes, I'll be outside. Or give me 5 minutes and I'll be in the house. Or give me 5 minutes and let's go to the studio, which we also had. The studio was no more than a 5-minute drive, you know, to the house, you know what I'm saying, from the house. So yeah, man, that's another thing that we're gonna talk about, but proximity, environment, you know, there are people who are good at best see that if they lived in another city with the same product would be phenomenal, or somebody might be average. There's a reason why we stayed in college towns. You know what I'm saying? It was strategic, you know, so the environment plays a big role as well. And so people need to think about, you know, when they want to move to a house, or like, bruh, if I was to move to California, I'm so glad Jada decided not to go to California, because that would have just changed the dynamics, man, of this team, you know. So to be able to be here, and like Karl said, another year or two, we could all live wherever we wanted to live because of the brand, you know. But hey, I wanted to say this earlier, enjoy the process, man. You know, C hasn't been here in years. You know, so when you talk about us eating lunch every day, having
2009,
worship, you know,
I think, is the last time I lived in Michigan.
Wow, that's 8 years.
That's, man, 8 years, Karl. You know, so the going to the movies together, you know, for real, while we enjoy the life, we're not going to sit here and try to fake it. We do enjoy our life, but there are parts of it that we don't have anymore, that we had 10 years ago. You know, flying together. We always flew together. Now I might see C at a conference, but I did the Chiefs the other day. I didn't see C at the Chiefs, or before that when I was in New York. I didn't see New York. I didn't see him in New York. You know, so but I do want to talk about this on the next one too. On this one, Jalen sent me my itinerary. You know, and Jalen and I had the suite together, and Jalen recorded the whatever. You know, Jalen did all the pics for the Snapchat, the Insta story, whatever. And so I do want to talk about that. C, transitioning from, you talked about having a spank tray. I've been there, done that. Karl talked about, you know, his experience with his child. And so now for Jalen to be working for the company and to be on the other side of the company and watching Jalen, you know, with the relationships, talking to some of the players with the Chiefs, taking their numbers down, him and BJ kicking it. Shout out to my boy BJ, who is the player engagement personnel for the Chiefs. We've had a 4 or 5 year relationship. He played for University of Alabama, O-lineman, you know, so just to see my son now as a part of the organization, I do want to get to that at some point, see, and talk about those dynamics as well. But it was good to knock on the door, you know, and be like, Bug, what up? You ready to hit this? You ready to get on our flight? He like, yep, got it. You know, so yeah, man, just while you lose some things, if you're careful and you're strategic and you're you know, reflective and making changes and adjustments, you can put yourself in a position where you're around to see the Larry Birds and the Parishes, and then see the KGs, you know, and the Ray Allens, you know, and I'm forgetting my best player there. He gonna kill me.
Paul Pierce.
Paul Pierce. Paul gonna kill me when he see me. E, you forgot me, E. But Paul Pierce, man, and to see those dudes, see another generation of champions. I just feel good, because I feel like we put in a lot of work over the last few years. We hired Sko, who was a general manager at Michigan State, and just to see now we're building that new generation of ETA. It's scary, but it's exciting at the same time.
Yeah, 100%. Let's see, one more.
Let me say Kel, because I want Kel to be like, E, you forgot about me? E, I ain't forget about you, Kel.
Yeah, we got the new 3
Hey, and
working
with Toad,
on, y'all.
I don't know if Toad would be considered part of the new generation or not.
He between there.
Toad in the middle. He's like John Wall. He's not a rookie, but he's not a vet yet. Let's see, last one. Kenya in Baltimore said, what was the worst mistake you made as a teen? Oh, that's easy for me.
As a teen?
A
you
teenager.
think the shirts was... Oh, as a teenager. I thought he said as a teen for us. Oh, yeah, my bad. I thought you said teen.
No, keep me honest, though, because my mom called me the other day. It was like, you're mispronouncing some words on the podcast, son. I was like, Lord, my mom is the grammar police. So she called me. What did I say wrong? She said, I can't even remember now, but she said, she was like, you were using the word wrong. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, thank you. I appreciate that. So, Mom, they're keeping me honest. I say, the worst mistake you made as a teenager.
Yeah, so I mean, you all know mine, but when I left home and cursed my mother out, and just totally disrespected my mom, disrespected, the upbringing, and then of course, for those who know the story, but you don't always put the pieces together. My mom married, and the person, who became a father to me, of course, at that time, I had no love for my man, at that time of my life. And I told my man, like, if I see you on the streets, if I see you on the, in the Detroit area, I'm gonna take your life, And so just looking back, man, just ignorant. That's probably the dumbest thing I've ever done in my life, was to disrespect my parents, cuss. I don't even cuss. And I was just so much enraged, cuss my mother out and threaten my father, man. I just, biggest
wow,
mistake.
yeah, that's a big mistake. Yeah, that qualifies. Karl, did you cuss your mama out too? And tell your dad you'll kill him if you see him.
Hey,
if I see you in these Barbados mean streets, right after I get whooped by my teacher, I'm whooping you.
Right. If the teacher could whoop me, you could imagine what my parents would have done. So yeah, not at all. Nothing close to that. I'm trying to think, bro. I mean, so y'all got to understand, for me, I left home at 15, different than E, very, very different circumstances, but our school system is different. So I literally finished high school early, and I was literally done with high school, heading to college at 15 years old in a different country.
Karl had a master's at 16 and a half, so he was very grown.
So,
Dr. Martin Luther Karl.
No doubt.
No, so yeah, I'll be honest, I lived on my own from 16, so I didn't have, I mean, honestly, the biggest, and this may sound cliche, but the biggest mistake, man, is just being young, like, you know what I'm saying? Not really paying attention to full opportunities. And what I mean when I say about that is, like, I'm saying I literally B and C student first 3 years of college, not because I couldn't do better, you know what I'm saying? Not because I definitely came from the background where I could get the work done, but it was not literally. My brother had a conversation with me going into my final year, and he said to me, dude, if you plan to go to graduate school, I didn't even know what graduate school was. I was like 18, you know what I mean? Like, I never thought of it. I got a degree at doggone 18, 19. What more school is there? He's like, no, there's more school, bro, and if you want to go to graduate school, you might want to have at least a 3-point. So just overall, man, just not taking advantage of opportunities. And I'm gonna say this one loosely and leave it out there, but yeah, I could have left a couple relationships alone too. I could have left a couple of them alone and been a little further ahead, but I ain't do nothing too terrible to get
young
me
man
messed up.
Gifts. You know what I'm saying?
right. I could have left some of that alone. Yeah, get me.
Yeah, no, mine.
Kept me out of trouble.
Mine too had things to do relate. This is easy for me. I don't think I told this story, but when I turned 16, and I was always a rule follower, like with my folks. Like, I never, was like rebellious or anything. Like, my parents were always cool. They never was like super strict. So it was just easy for me to follow the rules. But anyway, I turned 16, and my dad bought me a Beretta. It was sweet. They don't make them anymore, but the Chevy Beretta had a sunroof. I had the CD player in it, and I like just turned 16, like maybe I turned 16, let's say Monday, right? Keep this in mind. Monday, he got me the car. Boom, I'm driving to school all week, fresh, flashy, the whole nine. And Saturday night comes, and my dad told me, he was like, yo, I got one rule. You got your car now and everything, but the citywide curfew was midnight. So my dad was like, I'm not necessarily tripping on midnight, but if you get stopped or something after midnight, you're in trouble. So I'm gonna need you to be in the house by midnight. So I'm like, all right, cool, no problem. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday go by. I'm driving to school. Everybody like, yo, let me get a ride in the car. I'm like the first one of my friends that like actually have my own car that we're driving in. So Saturday night comes along, right? And there was two, me and my boy K Ford, there was two girls that went to East Lansing who, we were like dating and kind of hanging out with, whatever. So of course, Saturday comes and K4 hits me up like, oh, they trying to go out, let's hang out tonight, da da da. And I'm like, man, only problem is I gotta be in by midnight. So me and K4 devised a plan, right? So I told my mom and dad, I'm gonna call my Aunt Sue, which is my mom's youngest sister. Now, you got that one aunt that's like the cool aunt. She, still hang out a little bit. She's like younger than everybody else. She don't know that the citywide curfew is 12. So I'm like, yo, we're gonna stay the night at my Aunt Sue's house, right? So my dad's like, all right, cool. I don't care where you staying, but curfew is 12. Now, my Aunt Sue, and she was totally, had no idea. So I'm not, shout out to my Aunt Sue, I love you. I'm not throwing her under the bus. She was oblivious to this plan and plot I had. So I told my dad, all right, cool, I got you. I'll be in by midnight. Now, we go to my Aunt Sue's house, and I'm knowing she might go to bed around midnight, and she really not checking to see, okay, are they coming in by 12? She's not really strict like that, right? She's the young, cool aunt. So we go pick up the girls, go to the movies, hang out. They come back over to my Aunt Sue's house. Now we're just hanging out. We're not doing nothing we're not supposed to be doing, just hanging out. Here comes 12, 1 o'clock rolls around, 2 o'clock rolls around. Now, mind you, I promise y'all, they only live like maybe a mile from my Aunt Sue's house. So we wasn't just like joyriding through the streets, right? But it's November. My birthday is November 7th. Just got my license. It's snowing a little bit. It's a little icy, a little snowy, whatever. So it's about 2 o'clock. So I'm like, all right, cool. We pushing the envelope. It's getting a little late. We're going to take them back to the house. So the four of us pile into the car and boom, we go around the corner and I come down K-Zoo. And y'all know K-Zoo, when you coming down K-Zoo, like up on Pennsylvania, is that right where QD is right there? It's like that hill right there, right? So I'm coming down the hill and it's a blinking red. It's 2 o'clock in the morning, so the light's blinking. And I'm coming down the hill and I go to hit the brake to brake at the red light and the car just hits black ice and goes straight through the intersection and somebody T-boned us going like 40 miles an hour. Like spun out of control. We hit the little pole at Quality Dairy, the little store right there. And like, all I remember is the CD player was still playing, and I looked around in the car, and everybody, the girls started crying. My boy K4 hit his head, had a big knot on his head. And before I knew it, people were like running out from the store, like, we just called the police. I looked, the lady was shooken up who T-boned us. I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh, like you ever had that moment, like, just be dead? I was like, just be dead.
Quite a few of them, see.
Like, no, I was just like, yo, just let me be dead right now. Like, don't, question. You know what I'm saying? So out of nowhere, I promise you, my dad.
When I saw the thing downstairs, the clothes rack downstairs.
No doubt. Yo, so I'm sitting there, it's like 2 o'clock in the morning, like, yo, craziest thing. And then like my dad, like a vampire, I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden we were all standing right there and the girls were crying. Somebody was like coming to pick them up, take them home. My boy K4 was just looking at me like, what's going on? The lady they called the ambulance for the lady. The lady was leaving on the ambulance. And I promise you, I looked up and out of nowhere, my dad, like a vampire, was standing there. He was smoking a cigarette. And why was it deep that he was smoking a cigarette? My dad didn't smoke. Okay, so I was like, oh, look. I was like, oh my God. So I was like, okay, kill me. And my dad just looked at me. I'm talking about with the most disappointed look in the world. And I was like, oh man, I was like, yo, I'm dead. Like, yo, I'm like, yo, kill me. My dad, worked hard, bought me this car. Just told me and my dad, like I said, I wasn't rebellious. My dad wasn't being unreasonable. It was like midnight. That's the citywide curfew. Like you get out after that. And of course, man, karma hit me. I'm talking about immediately. So I totaled the car. Like I had the car for 5 days, totaled the car. Let me tell you something, baby. That's a humbling bus ride Monday morning. You show up on the yellow bus. But yeah, no, man, back to, and Pops was just like, yo, you messed up. So, of course, there was some punishment to be had. And, my folks were, pretty disappointed. But, it was my first mistake, and it was a costly one. So, needless to say, I followed the rules. What? Good morning for the rest of my sophomore year.
Mr. Bill.
I was an angel. You know what I'm saying? So,
Angel.
Oh, angel. So yeah, no, that was definitely the worst mistake I ever made. I mean, to this day, like that was just, it was just awful. I get nightmares thinking about it. So luckily everyone was okay. The lady was okay. She was just shaking up. Everybody in my car was cool. My boy K4 had a little knot on his head, but he made it through. But yeah, no, that was definitely the worst experience I ever had as a teenager. So shout out to...
I had that one too, but you said worse, so I didn't bring the car accident up.
Well, hopefully you threatening the lives of your parents was the worst. If it's anything worse than that, we don't need to hear it on this podcast.
Right.
So yeah, no, that's it, man. Well, I think we'll leave it there, guys. Thank you for writing in your questions. Continue to send in your questions. etinspires.com. You can send them there. You can send them, tweet them to us, Instagram them, however, man. We'll try to find it. So thank you all for sending in your questions. Announcements. Of course, you guys know we got Houston, July 9th. If you're in the Houston, Texas area, come check us out at Stay Ready. And then August 5th, we are in sunny Miami, Florida for the marriage conference. We'll be there as well. So come check us out there. Check us out at breatheuniversity.com. And I think that's it, guys. So, E, if you can give us a nugget of the day,
yeah, man,
we can be on our way.
I read something, man, the other day, man, I thought it was deep, a post with Kenneth McClary, and it said, 3 a.m. is the hour of writers. Listen to me, guys, 3 a.m. Because everybody always like, yo, E.T., why you get up at 3 o'clock? 3 o'clock a.m. is the hours of writers. People writing books and writing poems and writing songs, right? 3 a.m. is the hour of painters, right? 3 a.m. is the hour of poets, thinkers, silent seekers, and creative people, right? 3 a.m., y'all. So when you say, yo, E, why you getting up at 3? Why not? E, why you, and I don't mean 3 o'clock, just a.m. I mean rising early. I mean getting up and getting at it. I mean not waiting for somebody to give you something. I mean, not doing what you did the day before. I mean getting up early as you could get up and going after it, like beating your opponent, like beating everybody that's in your space, in your lane. So look, y'all, 3 a.m., it's metaphoric, but 3 a.m., that is the hour of the grinder. That is the hour of the individual that is trying to take his or her life to the next level. So I double dare you. I triple dare you. Calling all hustlers, 3 a.m., calling everybody that's trying to go from one level to the next. 3 a.m. is the time for those of us who are not just talking about it, but we're going to be about it. Hey, it's your boy E.T. Remember what I always say, if it was easy to get up at 3, everybody would do it. I'm not saying it's easy, but I'm saying the reward is well worth it. It's your boy E.T.
Appreciate that nugget of the day, E. If you love us, if you love what we're doing, you love the podcast, man, go write us a review on iTunes. Other than that, man, y'all have a safe, incredible week, and we'll see you next week.
Good morning. It's
Good
Mr.
morning.
I want you to focus on here right now. Don't you worry about when you get home. You concentrate on this opportunity. You don't worry about tomorrow. You concentrate on this opportunity with all your might, with all your soul, with all